All right, you guys, we're back. So let's cover the Grand Chess Tour event, which is going on right now. We're gonna cover that for a little bit. Let me change the scene as well, and there we go. All right, so those of you guys who are wondering where the bar is, chess.com has a glitch, so for whatever reason the bar is not showing. But what do we have? Ding is apparently better in this game against Gucci Reza, so let's unmute the tab. Let's see what we have here. We have this classic Berlin variation with knight b8 that was played in the match between Ding and Nepo. It looks like Ding is doing quite well in this game. So Ding is just up a pawn here, and after rook a d8 or e4, looks like black is doing well. So this is the first one. You guys said that Nepo threw away an advantage. Okay, this looks pretty normal. Rook c8, knight e3. Okay, looks pretty standard. Okay, white should be a little bit better with these bishops. Okay. Okay, this looks very nice for white here, actually. Great bishop versus a bad knight. Weak pawns. Control the open file. So what did he do wrong? Okay, this looks fine. Looks fine. Looks fine. Looks fine. Oh. Oh. He lets Maxime get this other knight into the game here. Bishop d6, very questionable move. I thought just like b3 and bishop b2. This way the knight is still dead. You can't go anywhere. Yeah, bishop d6 is a huge mistake. Now after knight d7, like b3 f6, black's gonna go knight c5. There's rook h8. Nepo might save the game, but Nepo is definitely a little bit worse here. So hard to play. Wesley playing Dayak. Pretty standard Gucci piano. Yeah, it looks fairly balanced. Maybe white is a small advantage here. After takes queen d7, takes knight f5, bishop f8, rook a1. I mean, maybe white has an advantage, but it doesn't look like it's a huge advantage. Did I look at the engine before saying which one? No, I mean, I do have the engine open, but I'm not looking at the lines. Which position which game are you talking about? Are you talking about this one or the Nepo game? Which one are you talking about? I mean, it's just a fundamental point here that the knight on f6 is very bad. Because the knight has no jumps. The main reason white is better here is because the knights are very stuck here. They can never like move away. So you go like knight e8, there's rook to d7. So you can't really move the knight. You also can't move this knight except rook d6. So the fundamental reason that white is better is the knights are kind of glued to these two squares. So once the knight's able to get active, now there's no weakness on b6. And even this position, for example, now b3 is a weak pawn, and you have a great knight, and you have the double stack on the h file here. So bishop d6 is actually a very careless move. I mean, b3 followed by bishop b2 just seems very standard. I mean, I'm not saying that white is necessarily better here after bishop b2, but it feels like white has a pretty good position. So fairly careless. We had a draw in the game between Fettuccini and Duda. They drew years ago, it looks like. Nothing too exciting there. The other game, what do we have? This game between Richie Rich and Anish Giri, the CEO of chess.com. Standard opening. Doesn't look like anything special, although this already starts to look like black could be better with the central pawn mass. But anyway, okay, game goes on. Game goes on. So basically here Richie has to decide, does he take the draw with the repetition, or does he play something else to prove an advantage? F5 maybe is a move here, but then I guess bishop c4 back. I think this game's going to be a draw. Is Richie Rich actually rich? Well, Richie Rich is a character. We have a move in Gucci Reza's game. Work up one played. G5 is minus 1.2. Interesting. But yeah, so also someone's asking about Gucci Reza. What do I think is wrong with Gucci Reza? I'll tell you what's wrong with Gucci Reza. Gucci Reza is focused on fashion. He's living in Paris. He's living his best life, and he's not wasting his time studying chess. He's focused on fashion like any sane person would be, and because of that, he's not playing as well, it would appear. He's obviously also rusty too, though. All right, back to the chess. What am I eating? I'm eating some chicken meatballs from Costco with some quinoa rice. Yeah, I got these like chicken meatballs from Costco. They're fairly cheap, so why not? So apparently Ding is much better, but to me it doesn't look obvious why Ding should be better here. But all right, anyway, almost sounds like the Hikaru guy chose to focus on streaming instead of chess. Absolutely, you guys, absolutely. So yeah, so we have 4 games going. Let's see. In Wesley's game, Wesley has an advantage. Is it a big advantage or a small advantage? Who knows? Not only that, but to move from Iran to Paris must have been mind-blowing. Yeah, of course, because in Paris you can do whatever you want. So let's see what Gucci Reza does. Computer likes H5 here. It likes GH and Knight H7. Wow, that is very dank. I would never really think about H5 and Knight H7 here. I don't think that's realistic. Yeah, I mean, this is really dank. This whole H5 Knight, I mean, this is ridiculous. No one's gonna, if Ollie Reza plays it, I will be stunned. Let's put it that way. I don't expect that. That looks really weird. I expect like bishop d2 and rook e1, or maybe like rook f3. White's problem is the rook and the bishop here. Daniel would play it in blitz. He might, yeah, he might actually find it, but I really don't expect it to be played here. I'd be very surprised. Whoa, thank you so much to Chess for the 75 gifted subs. Thank you so much to Chess for the 75 gifted subs. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. Big shout out to Chess for the gifted subs. We will be playing Arena Kings. Obviously that is the prize I get for winning it last week, so we will be playing Arena Kings a little bit later on, in about 31 minutes from now, but we're just going to cover this until then. So that's what we're doing, you guys. So what else do we have? All right, so we keep going on. Let's see what we have in this game between, we have b3 and f6. Game goes on. Wesley's game, we have a bunch of moves. Probably bishop f8 and knight d2 to go knight c4 looks pretty good for Wesley, but it's obviously not completely clear. Chess with the subs, yes, exactly. The idea behind the knight sack, I mean, once I see the knight sack, it becomes very obvious. The point is that basically black is completely offside. You're getting the bishops are very active. You have rook h1, and it actually looks really scary. Computer, of course, does after king h8, you're like rook h1, f6, and queen g6. And there's some kind of dang draw or something. I mean, again, very hard to, I mean, without being stockfish, just playing this and knowing that this is okay. I mean, maybe Michael Towell would play this, but I mean, to play this in a normal game looks really out there, to put it mildly, because bishop e1 just loses to e4. So I mean, yeah, seeing that this is okay is, I mean, even rook d7 and now you go bishop h6. I mean, this is just not really human at all. Like, basically the points the rook's getting you these great ops from distance, and it's fine. Maybe Gary would find it. Pete Gary in like the late 80s might actually be able to play this, because Gary Kasparov had a lot of intuition, like to really be aggressive. I could see Gary playing this, based on it specifically because when you look at his analysis of a game he played against Anatoly Karpov in the World Championship, the famous game in the Zaitsev where he sacked a bunch of pieces, this is very much in the spirit of how Gary played in the late 80s. So maybe Gary could play it, but even then, I mean, it's very out there. I mean, there's nothing forcing whatsoever about this line. Like, it's pure calculation. With 7 minutes on the clock, I think it's very difficult. That's what I would say. Very difficult to find it. Could I go vegan for a month? No, you guys, why would I ever go vegan? Thank you for some more random nonsense. So, all right, did I ever spend a whole day in a shelter? No, but I spent close to a whole, maybe it wasn't a whole day, but at least a good like 15 hours with no power, and that was definitely far out. I think it was in the early 2000s. Ironically, it was on a weekend too, so I think I was playing on the chess-based server. They had this tournament called the Play Chess Champions Challenge every Sunday for $200. $200 was the top prize, and so I was playing the tournament. I think at some point during that event the power went out. Like in New York, all of New York State, they lost power for like 15 hours. So I actually got disconnected from the event, and in the process the power just died. Like there's no power in the whole building, no power in New York State. I mean, you can probably even Google it. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was like 2001 maybe. It was the Northeast blackout of 2003. It was the Northeast blackout. Yeah, beginning just after 4 o'clock. Yep. Yeah, it was August 14th 2003, so it was actually basically 20 years ago. So fun times. I'm from ancient times. Yes, you guys, I was alive. I mean, I was alive back before most people in chat were. So what else do we have? Nepo's starting to get himself into some trouble here. There's like Rook H8 and Rook H3. What did Gucci Reza play? Gucci Reza played Bishop D2, which is what I expected, with the idea to bring the other rook into the center of the board. So yeah. So let's see what we're gonna get here. Still waiting for a move. This game is unclear. Richie played G5. Nice. Richie played G5. Now what's gonna happen is Richie's gonna do a tickle tickle. We're gonna get Rook D5, and we're gonna get more tickle tickle, and then Richie will do something else. I don't know what he'll do. Although Richie doesn't have a lot of time, he's down to 2.5 minutes here, so he's got to be careful how he plays this. Who do I think will be the next world champion? I don't know, you guys. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. I mean, if you were to basically make me pick somebody, I'd probably pick assuming Magnus doesn't play, I would say that it's gonna be someone new. I don't know if it's gonna be like Noterbeck or Ali Reza. It's gonna be somebody new though. I don't know who, but one of those guys. I don't see it being Arjun. I don't think it'll be Arjun. No, I think it's very unlikely. Gukesh is possible. Definitely Gukesh. I could see D Gukesh for sure. I don't think it's gonna be Jan. I don't think Jan is gonna win a third one. Could be Fabiano, obviously. Yeah, definitely could be Fabiano. But again, I feel like Fabiano, while he's playing better, he's not where he was at when he was playing his absolute best chess. So yeah, how many subs to retire as a streamer pursue chess career? No amount of subs would make me do that, by the way. Elon could be like, here's $1 billion, and I still would say no. I don't really intend to ever become a full professional chess player ever again. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I'll play tournaments here or there, but I will not I don't intend to play, like, become a professional player again and play like 20 tournaments a year. Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, like, I don't want to travel all over many continents year round, and basically being a lunatic and not having a life. Those days are gone for me. Those days are gone. So yeah, just that simple. Yeah. Handful of tournaments. I will always play a handful of tournaments, but yeah, a handful of tournaments I will play. Yeah. So anyway, also I just noticed an article on chess.com, which I think we want to cover, you guys. I want to cover this article because I just saw an article that popped on chess.com. So let me stop the music and let's take a short break and change our scene, and let's cover this. What on earth is this actually? Let's cover this. Let's cover this. We have an article to cover, of course, from chess.com, and it says German Chess Federation faces crisis as $550,000 goes missing. Okay, With more than 87,000 members and 2,400 clubs nationwide, the German Chess Federation, the DSB, is one of the biggest and most powerful chess associations in the world. But after years of infighting, alleged mismanagement, and controversy, this grand old ship of European chess is struggling to stay afloat amid a series of scandals. On Thursday, April 27th, a tournament organizer named Dr. Dirk Jordan was convicted of 27 counts relating to bribery and breach of trust between 2015 and 2018. He was reported to the authorities by the DSB for accepting hotel commissions on the back of organizing the German amateur championships. Dr. Jordan's wife, Martina, was also fined 4,500 euros for willful money laundering. Yet this case is just the latest blow to German chess. The DSB is also facing calls for investigators to probe why at least 500,000 euros or 550,000 US dollars appears to have vanished from its coffers. The black hole is so serious it is now threatening the DSB's very existence. Now, funny thing is, of course, I played some chess games against Matthias Bluebaum here, who's in this picture for whatever reason. At any rate, the scandal was first revealed in February after the influential German chess blog Perlen vom Bodensee, run by Konrad Schurman, published the minutes of a presidency meeting that recorded concerns about the DSB's finances. On February 24th, the DSB president Ulrich Kraus and vice president Lutz Rob Ebbinghaus outlined the actual figures, stating that the DSB's reserves were about to go down to 82,000 euros. In mid-2020, the DSB had close to 700,000 euros in the bank. Wow. So in 2020, they had over 700,000 euros in the bank, and now they have 82,000. Wow. Wow, wowzers. The previously cash-rich federation had lost a lot of money. Kraus and Ebbinghaus blamed miscalculations, additional expenses incurred, and inflation. But that wasn't the worst of it. Ominously, they also revealed that while a deficit of 89,500 euros had already been planned for the year, revised figures expected a deficit of more than 300,000 euros. As a result, the DSB was now facing a financial meltdown. Oh my gosh. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. 4 days later, the DSB dropped the bombshell that it was canceling the 2023 German Chess Summit, which was due to take place in the northern city of Braunschweig in July. Having heard about the mess the DSB was in, the local authority withdrew its funding. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. This is insane. This is absolutely nuts. This was a hammer blow to German chess. The summit includes the Federation's two flagship events, the German Masters and the German Masters for Women. Yeah, inflation makes $500,000 disappear. Not exactly. Not exactly. But this is wild. This is absolutely insane. Neither will now run in 2023 unless a new backer can be found. The same is true for a string of German championship events in individual blitz, senior, and disability categories. While this has been happening, German chess has suffered both at the grassroots and elite levels. Since 2020, chess has experienced a well-publicized boom in the rest of the world, fueled in part by the hit Netflix show The Queen's Gambit. Membership of the DSB, however, has dropped significantly in that time. Numbers are down from over 93,000 to 87,672 last year. There have also been reports of key volunteers leaving the Federation in droves, although the number is unknown. Volunteers are not the only people left disenchanted. In 2021, the German international grandmaster Georg Meyer announced he would leave the Federation and play for Uruguay instead. Meyer referenced concerns about bowling. #Ahedras, #chess. My federation change has been initiated. I hope to lift the profile of Uruguayan chess. In my youth, I spent a lot of time between Colonia, Salto, MVD, and Punta. My mother was born and raised in Montevideo after her parents escaped the Holocaust. Okay. Other top players have also threatened to stop playing for Germany under the DSB's leadership. Meyer went as far as initiating an open letter to the DSB signed by 12 internationals demanding the dismissal of then national coach GM Dorian Rogozenko. There has also been a looming vacuum at the top. Kraus has held the post since 2017 and was expected to step down at the DSB Congress on May 20th, but with no obvious successor. In yet another shocking announcement, the DSB's potential savior pulled out of the running to replace Kraus. Vadim Rosenstein, the founder and CEO of WR Group, came seemingly out of nowhere to host and organize the star-studded WR Masters that took place in Dusseldorf in February. He put up a prize fund of 130,000 euros for the event, which was won by LeBron Aronian. Shortly after, Rosenstein announced his intention to stand for the DSB presidency. Okay, fair enough. All right. Rosenstein, who grew up in Russia, has faced some scrutiny over his logistics company's business interests in Russia. Nevertheless, the businessman was seen by some as a way out for German chess. Okay, let's keep going. Rosenstein's decision to pull out followed a new name putting herself forward to take the reins as DSB president. Women's international master Ingrid Lauterbach, a FIDE arbiter who is on sabbatical from her job with Deutsche Bank, is now the favorite to take over. For the first time, the DSB could now be run by an English woman. On Twitter, Rosenstein described her as an excellent candidate. Shorman, who followed every step for Perlin von Bodensee, told Chess.com, "The situation has gotten so bad, it is time for a reboot. I don't overlook the almost first 175 years of its history, but from what I gather, this is unprecedented. We've had scandal after scandal and catastrophe after catastrophe, and that is excluding the ruin that has followed it all. We are now a federation without money and without many storylines and people who argue with each other. There's so much going on, it would now be better to shut down and reboot the whole thing." So what went wrong? Good question. An article in the German tabloid Bild pointed to the entry of the Professor, the name it gave to Markus Fenner, the DSB's former managing director. Fenner was welcomed into the DSB in 2018 after having returned to Germany from the US, where he held the post of managing director at the famous Marshall Chess Club in New York. Alarm bells started ringing for some. He came, let me mute the tab so you guys don't hear moves. He came from the Marshall and he really made a big impression on the, shall we say, quite mediocre chess guys, said Shorman. They were happy to find him and gave him the job immediately. He just sent them an application letter. Very early on, it became, I would say, obvious that something was wrong with this guy. Very soon, any criticism was not allowed anymore, while within the Federation, it was close to revolution many times. Indeed, in 2020, GM Meyer publicly called out the leadership on Twitter, saying, "The president is overwhelmed and disoriented. He lets himself be guided by an imposter whose motives are a mystery." This is just absolutely insane. Also, let me put chat on the screen as well. So what do we have? We have, okay, this is tweet in Deutsch. It keeps going. Fenner moved to an executive director role, but by September 2022, he had left. Now, following the DSB's financial revelations, questions are being asked about his tenure. In a statement to chess.com, a DSB spokesman said, "After the departure of our former executive director in September 2022, our new executive director, Dr. Anja Gering, discovered at the end of 2022 that the plans and the budget of the German Chess Federation did not match the actual income and expenditure situation." Okay. It's always nice when you get your figures and they don't match up, isn't it? I mean, tell me about it. That's as good as it gets. Yeah, you get your budget, it's all good, and then you look at the numbers, you're like, something's wrong here. We're losing 500,000 euros. Anyway, let's keep going. For 2022, the significant revenues that have been planned did not materialize, and many positions turned out to be more expensive than expected. Wow. The DSB blamed inflation. Blame that inflation. Blame Jerome Powell. Blame the Federal Reserve. Blame the ECB. Dang it, those terrible bankers. They be raising interest rates. They're screwing us over. Okay, the DSB blamed inflation, a $100,000 euro loss on the 2022 German Chess Summit, and a $60,000 euros spent on additional projects that were not counter-financed. It added that a €3 increase in membership fees from 10 euros to 13 euros for adults had been proposed to bridge the gap for 2024 and will be voted on by the General Assembly. So yeah, everybody, you got to pay 3 more euros. 10 euros, not enough. You got to pay more euros, and then more euros, and then more euros, and then more euros. Okay. Chess.com contacted Fenner. Through a lawyer, he denied any responsibility for the DSB's financial problems. The lawyer said, since August 2022, our client was no longer involved in operations. The interim results as of 7/31, July 31st, 2022, published in the Ulm October 2022 congressional brochure were negative 31,132.92 euros, with an account balance of 542,279.72 euros, significantly higher than at the beginning of our client's employment. Okay, so what happened then? So they're saying that they lost some money, but the balance was 542. So how do we get from 542,000 euros to 82 or whatever that number is above? The finances seem to have developed disastrously after the departure of our client. Therefore, the accusation that our client is in any way responsible for this development is in no way comprehensible and not supported by any evidence. Upon his departure, our client demonstrably sent detailed status reports to his successor and the president, and repeatedly offered to provide information and help in the future as well. This offer was not taken up. Federer himself added, I am deeply saddened by the catastrophic developments at the German Chess Federation after my departure. These are in no way related to my work as managing director. It is my strong personal belief that some of the developments, especially with regards to finances, were rather caused by my departure and could have been avoided. Since 2019, there has been a character assassination campaign against me, motivated by several decisions of the board in which I was involved. Michael S. Langer, president of the Lower Saxony Chess Association for 16 years, also told Bild, I have not yet been given any fully understandable reasons for this catastrophe. The money was there in 2019. It was over 600,000 euros. The Association of Lower Saxony, together with Württemberg and NRW, has submitted an application for the appointment of an auditing company. As Shorman put it, I desperately wish that someone independent seeks and finds the answers to this question. Founded in Leipzig in 1877, the DSB is one of the largest chess associations in the world. It has survived 2 world wars and the partition of its country. The DSB has overseen the development of talent such as the great former world champion Emanuel Lasker, and more recently its rising star GM Vincent Keimer. But can it survive 2023? Now, again, obviously don't know a whole lot about this, but just reading this, how is it that they don't know where the money went? Surely the money had to be sitting in an account. No, can't they just look at all of, like, the transfers out of the account to like wherever it went? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea obviously what the situation is, but I mean, can't they actually just look and see like the transfers? Like, I mean, this is not like JP Morgan where you have like millions of transfers going out every single day. So I mean, it just seems weird to me they can't. It's in some crypto wallet. Okay, well, who knows? But it just seems odd they can't track the they can't track the expenditures. Like, literally a person can't look at all the expenditures and track it. But so yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is. But definitely very sad to see, for sure, because of course Germany, I mean, one of our biggest audiences outside of North America are Germans, and to see how much the Chess Federation is struggling, it is sad. It's definitely sad to see. So that's the first article to cover. Now, I wish I could cover the other article on Robert Hess, but we're gonna have to leave that for after Arena Kings, and we will of course cover the Hess article on hybrid chess, but we'll do that after Arena Kings because we do need to get going. You can't track anything with crypto, but surely the expenditures were bank to bank. Like, if you're organizing a chess tournament, surely it's going to be from one bank account to another bank account. This article is about the German Chess Federation and how mysteriously $550,000 have just gone missing, and they seem to not know where the money is. So that's how it goes. Anyway, you guys, we're going to get back to Arena King, so let me change the scene.